Hi guys, it's Kamau. Welcome back to my channel. This is game 19, this or that. I'm really enjoying this game. I'm getting to know about myself actually. Going through these questions, I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm hoping that you're learning a lot about me and that you're enjoying the game, and I'd love to learn about you as well. So let me know in your comments which of the pairs you choose. So I'm going to run down 12 pairs of words and I'm going to tell you which of them I prefer, and you do the same. The first question is, would you let a man stay at home and you go out to work? I don't think I would feel comfortable with that. I'm going with no. I think we both should earn our keep. Both help around the house. When it comes to the children, I'm the mother. And I don't, the man can help, but the mothering, the nurturing, that's my job naturally. And I really don't think I would feel comfortable knowing that I have to go out to work and the man is at home. Whether he's at home cleaning the house, whatever, I just would not feel comfortable. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned and it's not a rational, maybe it's not a rational reason, but I just like the idea that if anybody has to stay home full-time, it should be the woman, because she does the mothering best. She's a mother. And and she more than likely would also be an earner too. So the chores, I would split the chores as well, right? Whether it's on weekends, a little in the evening, that kind of thing. That's my ideal household. Both are earners, both share the chores, both, of course, contribute to the raising of the children, but the real nurturing aspect of that is mine. Number 2, would you date your doctor, lecturer, any person in a position similar to that, where it is often felt to be a conflict of interest or an abuse of position? For me though, I don't have a problem. I don't have any qualms with dating your doctor, your lawyer, your teacher. Once you're two adults, you're consenting adults, once there's mutual affection, mutual respect, I don't see any reason why you can't date. So I'm gonna say yes, I would. Number 3, are you a perfectionist? Yes or no? I'm not a perfectionist. I'm a creative person and I give myself a lot of space in that. So my lines aren't straight. I'm an artist too. There's an artistic part of me. My lines aren't straight, even when I'm sewing, because I do some sewing. I make clothes and dolls and so on. Cannot get a straight line, and I think it's just that free spirit in me. Cannot meet deadlines. It don't make no sense to tell me about deadlines. I pretty much accept, I'm gentle with myself, put it this way, and I accept that it's a growth, it's a process. So you might be perfect enough for something, it's perfect enough for this time, perfect enough for this thing, but not an absolute perfect. So yeah, I'm non-conformist, hate confinement, hate rules, so no, I'm not a perfectionist. Number 4, which news would you want to hear first? The good news or the bad news? I want to hear the bad news first and get it out of the way. I want to end with the good news. Let's end on something positive. So I'm going with the bad news first, then the good news. Number 5, would you date someone who's been to prison? I would, but of course, it depends. It depends on why they went to prison, how long they were in prison, what kind of transformation. If I can see a clear transformation, I definitely have to get to know this person really well and see where his headspace is at, but I'm not ruling it out. I would prefer not to, but I'm not ruling it out. Number 6, if you saw someone's pocket being picked, like on the bus or in a store, would you raise an alarm? I think more than likely not, but again, it depends. It depends on where you are, and if there's a lot of persons, if they don't have a weapon, that kind of thing, if they have a gun or a knife, I probably won't say anything. I don't. Just to keep myself safe, you know, if a man come, he has a gun, he's robbing you, I don't think I would try to disarm him. I mean, I do martial arts, and you know, I'm trained to protect myself, but sometimes you just have to be rational, and you just have to size up the situation and see what are the odds. You know, what are the odds? I remember I went into a bus in Halfway Tree, and went into the bus, my bag was in front of me and I was standing. And I looked down, you see, from the minute I saw that the zip was open, I didn't have to ask. I knew I had been robbed, and I had no clue. The pickpocket was just so slick, so swift. This happened when I was at school, in school, right? But these kind of things happen, and you know, you just have to size up the situation, see what are the odds, are weapons involved, how does the person look? Is it a skinny person, a hulky person? Are there other persons? Would they look like they're together? That kind of thing you would have to size up. So every situation would be different, I think. Number 7, if your Facebook friend doesn't send you a birthday greeting, would you refuse to send to them? I've heard persons make posts, I've seen people make posts about this. If I don't get any birthday wishes, I'm not sending you any. I'm not like that. I send greetings, I love sending birthday greetings on Facebook. It doesn't matter if you returned it. Yes, sir, it doesn't matter. I mean, reciprocity is good, but it doesn't matter to me. I'll hail you up on your birthday. Number 8, who is doing the driving, you or him? I prefer if he drives, and I love to be in the passenger seat, and the man is driving. I usually am not able to behave myself, so I'm always harassing him, caressing him. It's probably illegal. Is it illegal to do that? I probably need to stop. Even if it's not illegal, it's not safe. I know that, but I just like doing it. And then, you know, you just feel so safe. You just feel like he's in charge. You know, he's taking you somewhere. He's taking you. I like that. Number 9, would you marry someone who is religious? Now, I'm not religious, but I think I could be in a relationship with someone who is not religious. It depends on your level of maturity. For example, Dr. Ben, one of my mentors, he was not religious, and he always used to talk about his wife being a devout Catholic, right? And he was he was born into Judaism, but he, as an adult, was not religious. But it all depends on your level of maturity, and you know, you can absolutely be in a relationship with someone who is of a different religion, or who is just, if you are religious and they are not, or they are religious, you are not. You can totally make it work. It depends on your level of maturity. Number 10, getting married. Would you keep your spouse's surname, or have a double barrel name, or just keep your name? I think I'd have a double barrel name. I don't want to lose any part of my name. I changed my name by deed poll, and I was 18, 19 when I did it. And my name means a whole lot to me, so I'm not giving up my name. So if anything, I'm taking on his surname with mine. So it will be double barrel. And you also have to take into consideration some legal aspects, like sometimes to have to go and do changes to documents and all kind of that stuff, it can be tedious depending on who you are, and you know. So I think I would keep my name, still use my name, but legally have his surname attached to mine. I think that would be how I go about that. 11, your spouse becomes disabled. Do you leave or stay? Well, I'm staying. Disability is not going to make me leave my spouse. But I'm not saying that I would accept the disability. I certainly would try to help and see if we can reverse the disability for one, or if it's not possible to reverse it, to turn it into an ability. That I'm all for that. I don't give handouts to persons who have disabilities and they're on the road begging. I just don't, I don't do that, because I see too many other persons with disabilities and they do what they have to do. They find a way to earn a living. I don't think you should go on the street and beg. Give something in return, do something that persons can say, okay, it's an exchange. Don't use the disability. I remember there's this man, he sits in front of a particular store, right, a supermarket, and day in, day out, he's just there singing, I'm blind and I'm hungry, I'm blind and I'm hungry, give me something. And I'm saying to myself, to be repeating that in your head day in, day out, you're doing something negative to yourself, for one. You're riveting that in your mind. And then blindness is not something that you must be able to find something else to do. I always tell my students about this lady, this young lady who, she found herself to the school. She came from Halfway Tree, which is miles away from where the school is. She's blind. She went on the bus and she asked and she found her way to the school, just to make the connection, because she had heard about the school and she had heard interviews. She found her way and she wanted to see what she could do, to participate. So I'm saying you don't use these things as excuses to say, well, I'm disabled. Sometimes I see people, it's like if one finger is broken, they use that as a disability. Don't do that. Number 12, are there male chores and female chores? No. I think if you're good at something, if you enjoy a particular chore, some men cook better than women. Some women are better with their hands, making stuff. So if it's a chore that you love to do, this, some people love to iron, they love to wash the dishes, they enjoy certain things, then do that. I'm all for division of labor, so that you can say, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that, and then you can even switch. That's how the body works, and it's an efficient way to work. To say what you're best at or what you enjoy, focus on that. But it's not a case where this is strictly a male thing, this is strictly a female thing, and you cannot do it if you're... No, that's crazy, right? So nothing hard and fast like that. But certainly you come to an agreement, or you make a roster and you switch it this week, that week, or whatever is most convenient for this person to do, whatever is most enjoyable for that person to do, then fine. So let me run down the list. Is, would you let a man stay at home and you go out to work? Would you date your doctor, lecturer, anybody in such a position? Are you a perfectionist? Which news do you want to hear first, the good news or the bad news? Would you date someone who's been to prison? If you saw someone's pocket being picked or they're being robbed, would you raise an alarm? If your Facebook friend doesn't send you a greeting, will you send one to them? Who is doing the driving, you or him, whether or not you can drive, Would you marry someone who is religious and you are not? If you're getting married, would you keep your spouse's surname or have a double barrel name? And if your spouse is disabled, would you leave them? Are there male chores and strictly female chores? Let me know your views on these. Let me know, what your choices are. Look out for round 20, and I'll see you then.